All right, I want you to view today as another practice day. The only difference is I am going to be throwing a little bit bigger numbers at you for this. However, it's the same process that we've been doing. You're still dividing, multiplying, subtracting, bringing down, and repeating. Same process. I'm just going to use a little bit of bigger numbers. But we're going to go ahead and warm up. And we're going to go ahead and solve this problem. We're gonna solve 376. So 76 divided by 3. I want you to go ahead and do that on your own. Use your slider if you need it, or looking at divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. Looking at that stuff. All right. So we're asking ourselves, 3 times what gives us 7, because 7 divided by 3. So 3 times what gets us 7? Well, nothing of 3 times anything gives us 7, but 3 times 2, which is 6, gets us really close. Okay? So we're dividing and multiplying. Now we're subtracting. Subtract 6. We have 1 left. And now we're going to bring down. And we have 16, okay? Now we're gonna repeat, okay? So now we're asking ourselves, 3 times what equals 16? That's what we're asking ourselves. 3 times what gives us 16? So 3 times 5 gives me 15. That's really close. So I'm gonna put a 5 here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to subtract 15. And I have 1. There's nothing left to bring down, and there's nothing to repeat, so I do have a remainder of 1, okay? Same process we're gonna do with just one that's a little bit of a bigger number. So let's do 762 divided by 3. All right, go ahead and try it. Okay, so 3 times what gets us as close to 7 as possible? Well, 3 times 2. So that gives us 6. I'm going to do 7, take away 6, gives me 1. Now I'm going to bring down. I have 16. Okay, repeat. Dividing 16 divided by 3. Okay, well, nothing comes out evenly. So 3 times what gets me as close to 16 as possible? Well, 3 times 5, that's 15. I'm going to subtract 15, and I have a 1. All right, now there is something still to bring down, so we're just repeating the process. Now we have a 12. 3 times what gives me 12, or 12 divided by what gives me, 12 divided by 3 gives me what? Well, this one does come out evenly, 4. So I'm going to subtract. I have 0. There's nothing else to bring down. There's nothing to repeat. And this is a 0, so I don't have a remainder. It is 254. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and try another one. Let's do 678 divided by 6. Go ahead and try that one. All right, we are going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat. 6 times what gives us 6, or 6 divided by 6 gives us, well, that's easy, that's 1. Okay, so 6 times 6 is, 6 times 1 is 6. 6 take away 6 is 0. Now I'm going to bring down. I have a 7, and I'm going to repeat the process. 6 times what gets me as close to 7 as possible? Well, that will have to be 6 times 1 again. I'm going to subtract, and I have 1. Okay, bringing down. 18. 6 times what gives me 18, or 18 divided by 6 gives me what? And actually, that is going to come out nicely. 6 times 3 is 18. So, looks like no remainder again. Subtract 18, and I get 0. There's nothing left to bring down, so I'm good there. And so there's no reason to repeat. All right, 113 is our answer. All right, let's go ahead and try another one. All right, I'm going to give you a problem of 8 divided by 279. Go ahead and try that one. All right, so 8 times what equals 2? Well, that's not going to work for us. That's too big, so we're going to put a 0 here, and we're going to scoot on to 27. 8 times what gives us 27, or 27 divided by what gives us 8? Well, from my understanding, that's not going to come out nicely, so I need to get as close as possible. I know 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, that's closer. And 8 times 4 is 32. That's too big. So I'm going to do 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm going to subtract 24. And then I have 3 left over. Then I'm going to bring down that 9. All right. Now I need to ask myself, 8 times what gets me 39, or as close to 39 as possible? Same thing, 39 divided by 8. So I know 8 times 3 is 24, but I think I can go bigger. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, too big. So 8 times 4 is 32. 9 take away 2 is 7. So I have a remainder of 7. Because there's nothing more to bring down and nothing to repeat. All right, so 34 remainder 7. All right, let's try this next problem. 1,970 divided by 4. I'm going to walk you through this one first. It is the same thing you've been doing. I'm just going to have another step because there's another number. All right, 4 times what gives me 1? Well, that 4 is too big. 1 divided by 4 doesn't give us anything either. So I am going to put a 0 and I'm going to move on to to make a 19. 4 times what gives me 19? Okay, well, I know that's not going to come out nicely. So 4 times 4 gives me 16. 4 times 5 gives me 20. I'm going to have to go with the 4. I'm going to subtract the 16. And then I have 3 left over. I'm going to bring down my next one, 7. All right, let's just go straight for the big one. 4 times 10 gives me 40. That's too big. So 4 times 9, that's going to give me 36. So I'm going to do that. Okay, got 1. Now, all I got to do is bring down that next digit. That 0 still comes down. All right. So yes, even though it's a 0, it still comes down. It does have value. 4 times what gives me 10? Well, nothing exactly. So I'm going to do 4 times 2, which gives me 8. Subtract 8. And I have remainder 2. I have 492 remainder 2. All I did was the same things I always do, except for I did it one more time because my number was a little bit bigger. That's it. Okay? So let's go ahead and do another one. I'm gonna have you guys solve this one on your own. This one is 1,573 divided by 2. Go ahead and solve that one. Okay. 2 times what gives me 1? Well, that's too big again, so we're going to put a 0 there. Okay. Move on to 15. 2 times what equals 15? Well, 15 is an odd number. So I am going to go ahead and work on, I know it's not going to come out nice. So, but 2 times 7 gives me 14, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. 1, ring down the 7. 2 times what gives me 17? Well, that's odd again, so it's not going to come out nice, but 2 times 8 gives me 16. Okay, 1. All I'm doing is bringing down the 3 again because there's another number to bring down. 2 times what gives me 13? Well, nothing exactly, but I do know that 2 times 6 gives me 12. And then I have 1 left over. There's nothing more to bring down, so there's no repeating. There's just a remainder. 786, remainder 1. I'm going to try one more with you in the thousands. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on. So we're going to go ahead and do 4 divided by 6,927. Do that one for me. All right. 4 goes into 6 how many times? Well, once. So 4 times 1 gives me 4. 2. All right, ring down the next number, 29. Okay, 4 times what gives me 29? Well, I know 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, looks like that's going to get as close as I can. Okay, 28. 1, bring down the 2 now. 4 times what gives me 12? Well, that actually comes out nicely. 3. 0. Bring down the 7. 4 times what gives me 7? Nothing, but 4 times 2 is too big, so a 1. Minus 4, 3. There's nothing more to bring down. There's no need to repeat, so we've got a remainder. 1,731, remainder 3. I want you to remember, solving problems with bigger numbers is no different. All you're doing is doing the steps one more time. That's it. Okay.